So with Furazan, everyone keeps hyping up her C6 like it's a must-have, and people just really should get it, but I don't really think it's super overpowered. Like, what it does is just gives you 40% crit damage when you do animal damage, and when your character does any damage at all, it does the pressurized collapse, which basically helps out with crowd control. And since it's the actual pressurized collapse for some reason, it actually gives energy as well. And since you would also have this constellation, it gives Farazan energy on herself, which honestly is not going to be too big of a problem, because most people are going to have like 300 energy. Recharge, simply because a lot of her sets you don't really need any set, you only just need energy on it, so you're gonna have like a lot of crazy pieces like this. Testing. So uh well, the reason why you'll have like high ER and stuff on the substats, one of the reasons why can be because of like Lava Walker, that terrible set that nobody wants. You can get some pretty crazy pieces on those, like some crit rate, crit damage ER, and you're never going to use them, most likely. And those ones could work since you don't need this like 2-piece or like 4-piece on anything besides Emblem. It should be really easy for you to build a lot of energy recharge. And another one would be like if you're farming Hu Tao or like someone else that has a pyro set, and then we have like the Crimson Whip, the Crimson Whip, oh my god, the Crimson Witch of Flames, the pyro, the good pyro one. If you get that set, you probably don't really want energy recharge on Hu Tao. You don't really need it, most likely. Maybe you do, but that energy recharge, a good one would be if you have like flat attack, flat HP, energy recharge, and crit rate. That one would be perfect on Farazan because you only need crit rate and energy recharge from the substats. And for the substats, just go for energy recharge. You don't really need too much crit rate, in my opinion. Maybe you want high crit rate, but I don't know. If you do want, like, if you do actually want to, like, proc the Livonia set, you could use, like, an E, then a charge shot, then use the burst. I think that would hit, like, 3 times, and if you time it right, you can hit 4 times, because you have a 60% chance for the Favonius, like, R0. But the reason why I don't really care too much for, like, crit rate is simply because you're not really going to proc it, even if you had, like, high crit rate. I just use Favonius simply because it's 60 energy recharge versus Sacrificial's 30. That's a pretty big difference. And for base attack, I don't think I explained it, but in the basic attack, one of the stats that she gets, it's not much. I looked at a bunch of other people comparing it, and it's barely anything, so it's just like a nice little bonus. But yeah, you should be able to have like pretty high ER things. When I built my Farazan, I had 3 of them already. Actually, I think I had all of them pre-built. Like, all of them. For the 2 things up here, I got Emblem. I had a 27 ER and then like a 21. Then this one, I had nothing. That one I actually like need to upgrade a different one. And for the Goblet, I can't remember, but the Goblet was, I think it was mid, and then the final one was also mid. But they were already pre-built, and I didn't have to worry too much because they all had like 2 crit rate, 3 crit rate, and then 14 crit damage. One of them had, but I think it was this one actually. But most of them, I didn't need energy recharge, so they were just sitting there, just doing nothing. So I put them on Farazan, just like a quick little thing. So it's pretty easy for you to build her. and you're probably gonna have crit rate for the Favonius, but it shouldn't be too big of a problem with their energy. If you want Noblesse, you're probably just gonna have Bennett in the same exact team anyways. But back to her C6. The C6 crowd control is it's decent. It helps, I guess. The 40 crit damage doesn't really feel like 40, it actually feels like 20, because when you have Shao, you're probably gonna have 200 crit damage. And if you have Wanderers, you also might have 200 on Wanderer. So it actually feels like it's 20%. So it's not like a crazy increase to damage. But the biggest increase has to be energy. And the energy, you'd gain like 25 to 30% of the energy on Shao. Like it would go all the way up to like 30%. And I tested out with Jean and Sayu. Both of them work pretty well. Running triple Animo, you shouldn't have too many problems with energy. Jean gives more energy than Sayu does, but Sayu, if you equip Favonius, it's a lot more likely that you're going to land a crit, since you could land like 3 or 4 hits pretty quickly. When Jean, you could only land 1 sometimes. Running these teams just everywhere in the Abyss, and just literally everywhere. This team was the one I used like the most. I was able to see with C0 that the energy, there was still a problem even with Sayu in the team. It was enough to where it really did drag the DPS overall pretty far down. But when you get C6, the energy problems are like not really there. So yeah, the reason why it's OP is because the energy. But it shouldn't be too much of a problem though if you're running Shao. Like the teams you should do, you can run Sayu, you can run Jean. I think that's it. If you have C4 Jean, she's like always gonna be here. She's OP. But Sayu, you can run her. Should give you some pretty good energy. But if you have her C6, the energy problems should be a lot easier. So I would most likely run Barbara.
We can do this.
Because you can have Thrilling Tales. Maybe Chi-Chi if you want more damage and downtime with the Clam set though. Then I think that's it actually for all the characters that I own. There's not a lot of Shao teams, surprisingly. Like, this is the one I had before. And this one was really stupidly powerful. I'll just show you how stupid the Traveler is. He's crazy. I would say overall for Furazan, I spent like at least 40 hours with and without C6, trying a bunch of teams and stuff. And I could proudly say C2 is probably the best one. C2 is the best one, not counting C6. So if you want a constellation, go for C2. Because that's just really stupid. I don't know why it's 6 seconds. That's really, really stupid. And that one, the duration of the dazzling polyhedron, for some reason, people genuinely think it's this and this. Oh, this second, this is now like 10 seconds, this is 10. No. Or maybe 6. I don't know why people think that one. But no, no, no. What it does is that's the dazzling, whatever the hell. It's made by the secret ways. Can't read, just woke up. But yeah, the dazzling, whatever the heck that thing is this. It's the cube. The cube. That's what it is. You know what sucks? Trying to stay in this, and same with the enemies staying in it. You know how annoying that is? So when you use Furazan, you're gonna have to like use Bennett and walk forwards. It's weird. But no, the cube thing that comes out is increased by 6 seconds, which is really stupid in my opinion. Yeah, that's just way too much. Yeah, it's a lot. It goes from your durations from 12 to 18. I don't know what percent that is. I'm not calculating that. But this one's pretty good. Only when you have C6. But when you have C6, her energy problems go down significantly. And this also makes it go down even more. But then this also makes your team's ammo needs go down quite a lot. The crowd control is just like a nice plus to it. The 40% crit damage does not feel like 40, it feels like 20. Because, you know, 200 crit damage, diminishing returns and all that. But I'd say it's not a make or break, not even close. It's a very nice and fun plus. Like, this is actually fun to mess with. Because when you're in, like, floor 12, and you're fighting all of those, like, wolves, you could just spam basic attacks. It is fun. It is so fun. Just messing around with that, because it keeps, like, crowd controlling them. And the buff you get from Furazan is just so big that you're gonna do like 40k on a charge shot. Like, just like the charge attack with Shao, a charged attack is doing 45,000. You're doing like 15 to 20k damage each hit, maybe even 30